Hey there, so today we have another review. This is a beer from Anderson Valley. It's been a while. Well, not a while since I reviewed. I reviewed their barrel aged stout, and then that was quite tasty, but okay. It was okay, actually, not quite tasty. But this is the Kimmy, the Yink, and the Holy Gose. They speak a whole different language in this kind of like, part of California. This is a straight up Gose, 4.2%. What's his name? Fal Allen actually literally wrote the book on Gose and like sour beer and blah blah blah. And this kind of literally a book on Gose, which I've never actually read, which I'm very curious about. But there you go. They're literally the guy who made this beer wrote the book on Gose. So let's look into Gose. I will say there is a very interesting history about this style and all stuff like Ron Pattinson talks about. But Berliner Weiss is a different kind of style, but. Anyway, let's dig into this beer. So, I'm very curious. It's been a while since I've had it, and I did give a Gose 100 out of 100 recently. So, beer is crystal clear. Wonderful, kind of like light gold color, solid gold, wonderful white head. I mean, can you smell salinity? But it's a little bit like, what do I smell? It's like, it smells like Gose. Like, how do you describe what the Gose smell is? It's a little bit of this kind of like potpourri clean kind of thing going on. A little bit of this kind of salty thing going on. A little bit of like light crackery malt. Cheers. It's just salty malts. Like saltines and like seawater and like a little bit of that coriander kind of full element. So this is so vastly different from Westbrook Gose. Well, not vastly, but like it's so different from that. This definitely pulls on salt more. Like you taste salinity, the savory quality of this beer makes it so quaffable. The crazy thing about this beer is that it sits at 4.2. It literally is the same ABV as Bud Light, and like how can it just shocks me sometimes at ABV of beer and like quality and flavor impact and like why would you even bother drinking beer at any point when like the flavor is just like it's like all right, we'll talk about that afterwards. But what are we getting? Really nice kind of like tart lemony acidity. It's almost like a salted Gatorade. The best analogy to this beer is like Gatorade, a beer Gatorade. You get malt coming in the middle. You get a little kind of like a Melba toast kind of biscuit kind of quality to it. A nice salinity, that kind of like Gatorade kind of interaction where it's like a little bit lemony, a little bit salty on the back end, but neither nor noticeably sour or salty, right? So you get like the trick of the two kind of playing at you. It's definitely not a sour Gose at all, but it's beautifully balanced. Has a wonderful kind of malt characteristic in the middle. Yeah, it is Gatorade with malt in it, and it's a wonderfully crushing beer. But it's not a beer that I like. Want to say like, impact. It's 4.2, so it's like not looking for impact out of it, but. Really delicious. For me, I would get bored probably after the third one. Like after third, I'm like definitely over this. I want something with a little bit more sharpness to it, or a little bit more character. But it's a very tasty beer. It is a wonderfully constructed beer. I like where the coriander doesn't really like over dominate the beer. Acidity doesn't dominate. It still tastes like beer. Man, it's a good beer. It's getting solid. I actually didn't like this beer in the past, and I really didn't think of it as an important beer at all for Gose. But now as I sort of fine nuances of beer, really enjoy drinkability more and more. I really bump up the points for drinkability versus impression. So it has no off flavors at all. It has really nice balance, which I like. Like there's some beers where your lack of impression sort of fails you because you also lack um, sort of drinkability and things that make sense. But this has much more drinkability without like huge impression, which is okay, which is good. It's you can up and down it. So this can get a solid 89. Anderson Valley, the Kimi, the Yink, and the Holy Gose. That's the freaking language that they have. It's very tasty beer. It still tastes like beer, but it is crazy. Again, think about this. If every tap in the country could have this over Bud Light, we'd have a blessed world. It really has a really nice kind of like neutral kind of Budweiser kind of thing, like plainest grain kind of thing going on. But it's as if if you could reconstruct this beer somehow, we'd have Budweiser with a little bit of salt and a little bit of lemon or lime, I guess, whatever you, with a little bit of acidity, and you get there, and that's what it tastes like. And to think that like Bud Light is so freaking disgusting, and you can get a beer at this ABV and just taste a little bit like lemon salt, a little bit, just a little bit. 89. Cheers later.